I'd buy that for $1.
Oh,
But you guys have said the magic word, so I need to throw up the no spoiler warning. Because apparently I'm the only person here that's seen Deadpool and Wolverine so far.
I've seen it.
I haven't gotten to go to the movies yet.
I knew Justin, so and I'm like, oh, I know this is coming.
Oh, well, you know, I kind of debated about the whole convolutedness of the multiverse and all that stuff. But you know, I was on Words of Paradise last night, like super late, like 6 a.m. But he had some good arguments, like, hey, I didn't even watch Loki, and I understood like the multiverse and the different universes and this and that because it was explained pretty well, which is true. But I would still argue the story is not that good. Like you definitely, and I'm not saying the movie's not good. It's what you want a Deadpool movie to be or a Wolverine movie to be, especially because Wolverine movies were PG-13 except for Logan. So yeah, that's all good and fine. But it's like, again, to rest like, hey, this is the direction the MCU is going. It's going to be great. I mean, I don't want them to just think, hey, as long as there's blood, as long as we say the word fuck, and, you know, as long as we use people that people know, then we're all good. Because what we really still want at the end of the day is good writing, like first and foremost above everything. And I still think Deadpool 1's like above and beyond like the other two for sure, even though there's cool elements of both the other Deadpools.
My takeaway from this third movie is this was the weakest of all three of the stories.
Yeah.
Like, it is the absolute weakest of all three of the stories. But it very well may be the most rewatchable MCU movie yet.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It was so fucking exciting to watch. It was not good at the beginning and the end. Like, I'm going to be very real. I was very bored. Like, compared to the other two, it didn't have that get 'em up and go. But when it did get up and go, it didn't stop for shit, and it was really good. I always complain about Alien vs. Predator. Like, I went to that movie so fucking excited, and I waited God knows how long to finally get to see those two creatures fight. It was like, what, an hour into the movie, and you don't even get to see them fight that much. The main movie is all these stupid humans that you don't give a shit about.
No
You're there
kidding.
to see Alien versus Predator, not all these other fucking people and their stupid ass story. In this movie, you're there to see Deadpool and Wolverine. You're not there to see everyone else and their stupid ass story. And guess what? That's exactly what you got in this picture. You did not get all the other cast members. They're there, but their story was not in the forefront. It was not important. And it was, you did not care about them because you were engaged in the action between Deadpool and Wolverine. It was really exciting to watch. The banter between them is fantastic. If you've ever seen them off camera, you know what to expect.
Yep.
My only gripe about the film and them leading up to it is this is one of those films, and this still here, it says that they planted false leaks. No, they didn't. They didn't. There was one scene that I saw that was different from the previews than it was in the movie. Otherwise, everything else that they've shown you is pretty much exactly the way it is in the movie. I hate when they fucking do that because it tells you like everything.
So my 15-year-old was saying the same shit. And my wife's like, oh, here's the final trailer. She goes, I don't want to watch it, Mom. I don't want to fuck because it's going to tell me more about the movie. And then she watched it and got all pissed. And then, I mean, they did keep some stuff hidden. There's a pretty good amount of stuff hidden. There's a pretty good amount of Easter eggs, especially like the AOA stuff and all that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about without like spoilering it. But
I woke up Friday morning and I'm flipping through my phone, or excuse me, Thursday morning, because I saw it Thursday night. And I'm flipping through my phone and I see an ad on Facebook for a group that I'm not even a fucking part of that tells you all the cameos that were in the movie. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even subscribe to you.
There's stuff like that on Twitter too. There was a couple of prominent people in the geek community that Thursday morning, we're putting out spoilers, and other content creators and YouTubers and whatnot were all like, yo, what the fuck? At least spoiler tag that shit. Even we hadn't seen the fucking movie at that point. And I'm not gonna like do names. I don't do YouTube drama or none of that. I don't give a shit. But like that was ridiculous to even see that somebody was doing that before anybody else could even see the movie. At least give people a fucking day or two to watch the fucking movie.
Yeah. Because that means some asshole from the premiere saw it and came home and fucking posted the shit.
Yep.
Like, come on, really? It's just annoying. And EW, Entertainment Weekly, was posting pictures this morning of all the people from the fucking that were in the movie.
Christ.
And it's like, y'all, technically it hasn't even been out for 24 legal hours yet. Like, give it a chance. Give people a chance to go see the fucking movie. Be surprised. Don't you want to go be surprised when you see a movie, especially for as expensive as these fucking tickets are?
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. Amy was like, hey, can we go like this night or that night? And I'm like, well, those are technically budget nights, but I was looking at the prices and I'm like, those are not budget ticket prices. I'm like, it's like, oh shit.
There's a reason I only go see matinees.
Well, I had been stacking up all our movie credits at Cinemark, so we got all 4 of our tickets for free. So
there you go.
Nice.
I think we
That's
paid the
how you do
upgrade
it.
for 3D or something, whatever. But
Okay, yeah.
it was
I
pretty
saw it
clean
in
in 3D. I didn't mind it. It was good.
It
Cool.
was wet. It was very wet.
Yeah,
a lot of arterial spray. Not a lot of stupid jokes. The special effects were all pretty top notch when it came to certain mutant abilities with the 3D.
The TVA and the MCU storyline just weighed it down, like right from the get. I mean, even my daughter, who ended up loving it, she looked at me and rolled her eyes, like right when that first TVA gate opened up. She's like, "Oh no, God!" But
yeah,
it is what it is. I've been on record for a long time. I do not like the Cassandra Nova character. I never fucking have. That actress like knocked it out the park. She did a fucking great job. I think they portrayed her skill set very well. I would have wanted to see more astral plane like type stuff. Whatever. We got that in Xmen 97, so I'm not gonna like lose any sleep over it. They did some pretty unique rated R horror-esque things that they could do with that character that they kind of did. They were like not too horror-esque, but like body horror type
just
shit.
enough.
Yeah, just enough. But I was pretty impressed. Like, again, for somebody who can't stand, because technically that character doesn't exist. She can't exist because she's in the womb with Charles Xavier, and then he psionically blasts her and kills her. Well, guess what, everyone? Mutants don't get their powers until their fucking X gene goes off when they're in puberty. And he was fucking in the womb still, so he didn't have his powers, and that's verified like in the comics, like way before that, 30 years before. But that's what happens when you start rebooting shit, because that was Grant Morrison's reboot. That was the beginning of the new start on the X-Men. So
because Grant Morrison's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I loved his JLA run, but his X-Men run was the biggest pile of dog shit I ever read.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. That's why I liked in X-Men 97. They took the E is for Extinction storyline. They used elements of it, and they used a X-Men 90s character as the villain still. So that shit worked for me.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll fucking watch it then.
You should watch it, man. I don't think you'll regret it. If you even did you watch the old show or no?
You bet I did, and I have the DVD collection that my wife and I just rewatched like a couple of years ago, and I'm like, all right. Well, now that people have actually seen it, and I've heard like the good word of mouth and everything, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it now, especially from like Kevin and other people that have seen it that I know, and especially you, Justin. Like, yeah, I'll finally get around to watching it.
You'll like it. You're not going to be disappointed. Like, honestly, like some of those last couple episodes, like the score is almost like freaking out of a movie type quality score. Like they really put a lot into it. My only biggest complaint was they burned through the storylines. I would have liked them to breathe longer. Have 4-episode arcs, like the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix arcs, and then in the 90s actual run. But hindsight's 2020, they fired Bo DeMaio anyway. So if we would have been stuck now on the first like 2 or 3 storylines and not burned through all that, then we probably never would have got to see any of this other stuff. So I guess it kind of all worked out the way it should have. You know?
Yeah, my one concern is what they're doing with season 3. That's when we finally get the new showrunner in full force, and it's like, oh god. I know when Bo got fired, like everybody's like, oh shit, this show sucks now. It's like, maybe he wasn't so bad. And I know Angry Badgers talked to him, like he's been on some other streams. It's like, guy seems fine. I don't get what the problem was, but I'll give it a crack.
I went in hard on, but because that's how they marketed it. They marketed it to where everybody would be pissed, you know. And then I kind of read in. I went back and I looked at everything he said, and I looked at, he put in like, himself insert as Morph, but he also put a lot of things because he was adopted as a kid, right? So you kind of get that vibe in the storyline when you have like, I'm not going to spoil it for you. There's elements in it that has to do with, saying goodbye. And they were like versions of like what a parent would do when they're giving their kid up for adoption, like type shit like that I got out of it. Like I could read, that's an insert that he did also, but it's like to play to that effect as well. But it's not like the story, it's just implemented into the story. So yeah, cool. I think you'll like it, dude. I'm pretty excited for season 2. It's already set up. Now they could go in there and chop shop it. Like we don't know,
Yeah.
Again, nothing's ever come out of anything he did wrong. We've only heard about how hard he is to work with. And that usually means he's passionate and cared about what he was doing. So my only worry is like someone like Nate Moore comes around like, oh, this is too comic book. We need to chop this thing down and put all the shit I want in this, because, he's famous for saying that. Right. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think the scripts are like, I know the story outline's done for season 2, right? Like pretty much from what I understood.
Yeah, I want to say it's in production. It's 3 that's being written and fleshed out now. That's taking his road work, and now they're fleshing it out. He had plot points that he wanted to do for season 3. But now they're starting to take that and make it their own. Yeah.
And 2 should be very similar. Like it definitely runs off a bunch of 90s runs, the way they ended it. And, they're like mid 90s runs that some of them aren't on the main Xmen books, but they're on some side stories that will all connect all of it. So it should be very similar themed.